know these. If you are trying to find something in a supermarket, there's 3 approaches. Know an example of them.
Okay.
Trial and error, you wander. Algorithm, you have a method to your madness. Heuristics, you're only going to check the related aisles. So the algorithm, you're checking everywhere, but you're doing methodically checking. Questions?
What's the last one? Checking only.
Heuristic? Yeah.
It's like a shortcut.
And you probably came, I said,
Shortcut.
this is on, I just put this on Blackboard, but you can take notes, I just want to let you know it was there.
Listen, I have a rehearsal brain, so
Uh-huh.
I have to keep writing.
Fine. I just say that because I don't want you to go home thinking, she could have told me that, I wouldn't have.
No,
What is-
unfortunately, the more I see it, the better I am.
What's our confirmation bias? And a lot of this I just put directly on from what we had already looked at. What is it? It's our tendency to search for information that confirms our theory. Mental set and fixation. Fixation, that's what's on your study guide, is that tendency to get stuck in our way of thinking. Remember the matchsticks and trying to make 3 triangles with it? Yeah. You think 2-dimensional, you don't think 3-dimensional. You get fixated on solving it a certain way.
It's inability to see a problem from fresh perspective, right? No?
It's both. It's you get stuck in one way of looking at it so that you can't see it from another way. They go together. So it's the tendency to get stuck combined with the fact that because you get stuck, you can't see it from another way. Availability heuristic is,
What's representative?
I'm getting there.
Oh, it's just not in order.
What you doing is
Yeah, sorry. Some of them are right in order, some of them are not. Availability heuristic is what you think is more dangerous based on like the news that you hear.
airplane or plane?
Representative, and I don't think this was actually on there, so it's there now. What is the representative heuristic? It's the tendency to estimate what the likelihood of an event is or a person is by comparing it to the prototype. So think, what represents to you a model? Attractive thin woman dressed in fashionable attire. That is your representative heuristic. That's what you think of. And so when you see a thin, attractive woman dressed in fashionable attire, the first thing you will think is, maybe she's a model, right? Or the opposite. If you see someone that is not thin, attractive, fashionable, you would not think they're a model. Is it right or wrong? No, it's just this is how our brain processes. It's what do you think the person is based on what they look like? I'm giving you
Assumption.
it's an assumption, yeah, exactly. But we call it in psychology representative heuristic, exactly.
When we talk about heuristics in class, it was kind of like for problem solving. How would this relate to problem solving?
It's problem solving because you're trying to figure out mentally, like I would look and say, okay, I would assume that you work in a hospital based on how you're dressed. So it's problem solving in your brain, like you're trying to figure out who somebody is based on how what their appearance is. Or that representative that you think, that's where the representative comes in. Whoops, sorry. Belief, perseverance is holding on to your beliefs even when there's information that's contrary. You don't want to let go of whatever you think that is. Questions? Okay, framing.
It wasn't,
I know.
can you go back? the tendency to,
Sorry.
or say it, just say it, you don't have to go back.
Tendency to hold on to what you believe is true, even when there's contradictions. Okay, write this down. See, I'll stay. You're gonna get a couple more things than there's that left. Woo-hoo. Framing. Write it down because it's not under there, but write it down under belief perseverance because it was still in module 24.
Module 24, okay.
So underneath belief perseverance, write this down, framing. What you need to know is what do people judge as a better deal is an action of framing. It's what we perceive as being the better deal. We choose 20% off more than we would choose everyday low prices.
So how that would be? People choose,
I'll tell you in a minute. Let's see exactly how it's worded. People would choose something
that's
that would be 20% off because in their mind, that's a better deal.
Yeah.
And it's the framing that we look at. It looks better.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
frame it as being something better.
Okay.
Intelligence. What do we use them for? What do psychologists use them for?
To assess
Mhm.
people's mental
Mhm.
abilities.
Yep. To be able to assess and compare their mental abilities.
Real quickly on framing, would you say, quotes 20% off is pretty important to them?
No. Just the ability to distinguish a better deal
It's about
requires
judgment.
framing.
Or
Hmm?
to think is a better
Judgment,
deal.
how we judge.
Mhm. Yeah.
Better deal.
Better deal, yeah. Like, why would you think that this is better than another? Savant syndrome. This I changed. So think a little bit, and again, it's on there. It's those islands of high, even though there's lower functioning, cognitive functioning.
So the people can be very proficient in one area.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they can be awkward in one
Mhm.
thing and then they can be really talented.
Raymond. Emotional
Yeah.
intelligence. Just think that person who struggles with these different components would have a low level of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Person who struggles with what?
These
With those.
components. Any or all of these. Perceiving emotions, understanding emotions, managing emotions, it's all in that same category.
So when you struggle with it, you what?
You would have a low level of emotional intelligence. So just think, your emotional intelligence is really like, how well do you get along with people? If you don't get along with people, you have a low level of emotional intelligence. Right? Think about it that way. All right, multiple intelligence.
Multiple ones now.
No. Know what it is. There's more than one intelligence.
Will we have to name different ones, or
Nope.
will we have to name Gardner?
Nope.
It's,
You will
how
not
many
need to
of
know
them?
Gardner.
8?
Hmm?
We won't need to know Gardner?
You don't need to know. Well, it's in the question, but you don't need to know who. I don't ever give a who is it.
Okay.
Tell me.
Yeah, because
There's so many of them,
yeah.
and then they get confusing.
And really, I want you to get out of this. What's it all about? Much more of the big picture than, okay, this was the person. Other than you should really connect like Freud and psychoanalysis and those bigger areas. Gardner is not what I would call a big area of recognition. You do need to know that what multiple intelligence is. There's more than one intelligence. Benet, and remember I had, who else?
Simon.
Simon, just
Mental
need to
age.
know that they assess a person's mental age. And why they did that was to determine whether or not a child's development was fast or slow.
What do? They assess a person's mental age?
Mental age, yep.
Determine if the development fast or slow.
Mm-hmm. Their intellect was fast or slow. Remember, he was the one in France that was trying to see whether kids would be able to succeed. Need to know both of these. What are examples of achievement tests? These. The ones you take in college are achievement tests. The one that gets you into college is an aptitude test. So you take an SAT, an ACT, a GRE. Those are aptitude. It predicts how well you're going to do in the future. Achievement is what you've already done. So one is future oriented, the other is what you've already done. I'm not going to tell you which ones you need to know, but you should know percentages.
Really?
Really?
68.
No. Like 100% of people are between what? 95 or between what? 68 or between what?
68.
That's what I mean.
That was
That confused me.
Okay. What are the limits on the IQ? What's
85 and 115, right?
hmm?
Oh, no.
70.
Okay, I'm thinking about what you got on the paper.
70 and
What did I
130?
put on the
70 and
paper?
140.
You
Said
put,
percentage of WAIS scores.
Oh, okay.
So
I gave you more than
So-
I remembered.
so that was a 60.
So what's the answer?
68.
68.
Okay. You got
Boy, you got it good. Gave it to
Wait,
you.
what's the question? And
No, just write down
What's the
percentage.
percentage of people, what's the percentage of scores that occur right here between 85 and 115? What's the percentage?
68.
68.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Not us.
Again, hey. If you have a study that is reliable, now listen, because you're going to see this probably twice. A reliable study is one that you can do again, get the same results. So if it's a highly reliable study or test, then I should be able to have you come in, take the test today, leave, come in, take the test again in a month, and I should get close to the same results. That's a reliable study. Reliable between people is that's test and retest. You won't need to know. No, you might. Keep them, yeah. Keep them, yeah. Those four you probably want to, I'm not going to tell you which ones, but you will need to be able to distinguish. Just think, split half. I split it in half. The beginning of a test. Mhm. Yep. Just like it sounds. Split a test in half. You should have the same results on both halves. Test, retest. Come in today, take it. Come in a month, take it. You
Take
should
it
have
again.
similar scores. Validity is measuring what it's supposed to measure. So if I want to know how well students learned psychology in Intro to Psychology, I'm not going to give you a test in economics.
No.
It's not valid. It's not going to measure what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to learn. Predictive, how well does it predict future performance? So those are the two validities. And remember our IQ test, we looked at the validity. How well is it going to predict success in the future? Intelligence extreme.